For those who are just joining us, you're welcome. We're going to start in about 1 minute, but you can tell us where you're joining in from. We would like to know where people are joining us from. It's good for our WordPress community. So please, in the chat box, could you let us know where you're joining in from as we wait for more people to join us? We'll start in about 1 minute. But we can get to know each other. If you check the chat box, some people are from the United States of Wachiso. We have people, Habib is from USA, he's joining in from Georgia. We have Wangani from Malawi, Emmanuel from Lira City. We have Moses Kasa joining in from Mukono. So you can let us know where you're joining us from. Okay, so it's 5 minutes past 4 p.m. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Joan Logose, and I'll be your host for today, together with Sharon and Faith. I think they'll be joining us with time. But I'm glad for those of you who have joined us, who have kept time. I'm happy that you're here. Today's meetup was inspired by a question that somebody asked in our WordPress group about colors for their website. And from the messages that we got, it showed that there were very many people who needed help with their UX. Colors is just a small part of UX design for your website. And we are glad that Habib volunteered to facilitate this meetup because he has experience in this. I won't introduce him that much. I'll let him do justice to what he does as a web developer. So right now I'll be handing over to Habib, who's going to be leading us in this meetup today. We have exactly 1 hour, so by 5 p.m. We should be done. Just a reminder, this is going to be a series of meetups since UX is a very big area, so we cannot exhaust everything within 1 hour. So after today's meetup, we are going to be having more we're going to be having more meetups in this same area. So Habib, you can start now.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity to speak to you guys. I've been part of the group for a while, and sometimes it's one of those groups actually that's on mute on my WhatsApp, interestingly, but I do go in and once in a while look at different things that people are designing. And myself, I am a Ugandan American. I moved to the United States 18 years ago. When I came here, let me just go back. I went to King's College, Budo, and then went to Makerere. I was doing economics, and then went to the UK and was doing programming. But web design at that time was just a module for that whole program. I didn't like programming, but I liked web design. So when I moved to the United States, when you come here, sometimes you need to do what you need to do. So at that time, I started designing websites. We were using Photoshop. At that time, Photoshop, you could design a website, export it as HTML, and you have a website. I don't think that function is there right now, but those were the days of tables and all that kind of stuff. And then came those popular Joomla and all of that. I was good at that at some point. And then, of course, WordPress. So I've been doing web design. I have a company that is basically Ugandan American as well. It's called Ganda Media. And we've been designing websites for Ugandan people and also American people. So it's a mix of that. I employ Ugandans primarily to do the work, and just because there is a lot of opportunity for Ugandans to develop their web skills. So the problem that I've found is that even if there's so many opportunities for Ugandans, there is a problem with the front end of most of the websites that are developed in Uganda compared to your partners in Kenya and in Rwanda. So there's a big problem, and yet also you guys have a big opportunity. And the first main thing is that many of you guys, I would say, do not really understand what the business is doing. Maybe someone comes to you, they need a website, you quickly want to get whatever you're going to get from them, a payment, but you don't understand. And I also do understand that Ugandans generally can be very, at least this is from the feedback that I've got, and we all know my budget is this, my budget is that, and then that kind of demoralizes you guys to take time to think. So in the series, as we'll go on, we'll attack all these topics. First of all, fixing the websites that you're designing for people, but also the business aspect of things. Again, as I said, there are so many opportunities for Uganda and for you guys to make money, but also, developing proper websites. Okay, so you have the resources. I use Elementor, and I would say I'm very experienced with this, at least 8 to 9 years of experience using Elementor. Elementor Pro has all the resources you need. You don't even need to think much. Most of the work is actually you taking time to look and do your research before you do the work. That is the big thing. So I'm not going to go into the details of Elementor, but just know that it is a tool that can be extremely useful for you guys if you also don't cut corners in what you're doing, and if you also take time to educate your clients and speak to them, and in the end, both of you and the client end up having a successful website. So I was given a couple of websites to go over. I want to make this conversation as casual as possible. Please, no cramming. I just want it to be casual. I think all of us know what user experience is, or at least have an idea, right? It's basically just a visitor coming to your website. This is a very vague explanation, but I want it to make sense for you guys. If they come to a website, and let's say it's a hospital website, and they want to schedule an appointment with a doctor, they come there, they should be able to see what this hospital does, what they specialize in, and quickly make an appointment. It shouldn't take 5 minutes. But if they need to go through 5, 6, 7, 8 different pages and click to get to the contact page, then you have a problem. You as the designer, you did not address the core needs of that particular business. You put their contact button on only one page, for example, or you put it somewhere where the colors are so bad that I cannot differentiate the background from the actual button. Those small little details are really what is many of the problems that we're having here in UX design in Uganda. So I'm going to go through these different websites with you, and I'll show you, because we have 1 hour, so it's not really a lot of time, and I also want to kind of get questions from you guys. All right, so we all know that tourism is one of the big markets in Uganda, right? That's one of the big things that Uganda gets money from. I have traveled to several African countries, and seemingly it's always difficult actually booking a safari in Uganda without having to call the company from the US. Over here, because they have so many options in the US, I would be like, why am I wasting time going through this website that I cannot understand? I'm going to go and look for another website. So that company ends up losing thousands of dollars, just because the website has not been designed very well, or because it is too much going on, it's confusing, and it's just not inspiring, and it's just boring, right? So I'm going to just start out to share my screen here. I have not looked at these websites in detail because I wanted it to be just as raw as possible, but I want to share this website here, and I don't know if the designer is on the call, because I really would love to. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
We can see your screen.
Yeah,
Is the designer on the call as well? Because I would love to talk with them and just kind of get a background. It's gorillabackbonesafaris.com. Are they on? All right, no problem. So the first thing if I came to this website is and I'll click on the logo, right? This is what I'm presented with. This is a safari company that does, gorilla safaris. Gorilla safaris are expensive for non-Ugandans. I think even at some point, there was a time that you had to book safaris well in advance, probably like a year in advance. So you can just imagine the amount of money that is being made by these companies. But look at what I'm coming at. I'm coming to a website that has green. Like, that's the first thing I'm seeing. No picture of a gorilla, no picture of of maybe a tour car or anything. This is the first thing I'm saying. So I'm looking at the telephone numbers here, fine. But even these telephone numbers, if I'm like, okay, I need to call these people, now I'm going to have to copy this. I can't click on this to make a call, right? It's right here, I can't, there's nothing I can do. Okay, maybe I can send an email, but I need to book my trip now. Okay, I'm not really interested in your LinkedIn profile. For sure, and maybe I don't feel like contacting you on WhatsApp because I don't want you to have my personal number at that moment, right? And for sure, I'm not going to look at your Facebook page. So I'm already kind of like, I want to call you and book this trip. The first thing, I can't click on anything here, right? Then I have a logo that I cannot see, but for some reason the logo is big over here, and I'm just comparing these, and they probably look the same. But my old eyes, I can't see what this is. So I'm not inspired right away by this kind of design because it's showing green and it's telling me to click here. So, okay, I click here, then what? It's telling me about you. No pictures. That's the first thing. The most important thing is now with all these TikTok reels and all of that is you must get pictures for your website, and not just any picture. In this case, a Gorilla Backbone Safaris Limited, this designer should have had a wide website that is covering 100% of the screen, that is showing gorillas. If this company is legit and they're doing these tours, they honestly have to have pictures of gorillas, at least, right? That would be the first thing. But here I'm already bored. There's nothing. I have click here. It's taking me to the About Us page. Learn more about us. Okay, I think I'm tired of learning more about you. Can you inspire me and show me a video or something? You don't need to see the Ugandan flag. I know you're in Uganda. That's where I'm going. You see, right? So you can see how just very quickly your own design can steer someone away. Okay, fine. Finally, down here, I can see that there's some itineraries. Okay, so I'm going to back up a bit, and I wonder if there is anyone who works for, let's say, MTN or Airtel, those bigger companies. Is there anyone on this call who works for those companies, who does any UX design for those companies? Okay, I'll take that as a no, right? Now, MTN and all those companies, for them, they kind of have three teams of people who do this kind of stuff, right? They're going to have the business. The business are going to be maybe shareholders and people who don't know anything about website design, but they know what they want. They know their aim of how they could, like they know where their money is coming from, right? They have those. And then they have the UX designers, pretty much you guys, right? You are the middleman. You're going to go take notes, listen to what they need. And then they have the developers in the back end who are actually going to do the actual work, right? So you as the UX designer, you're going to draw up, or you have whatever program you use, maybe like Figma, and draw up what the website will look like. Go back to the business, back and forth, going back and forth, right? And then showing them that, okay, this is what the website is going to look like before it's developed. And then they're going to say, no, yes, we agree, change here, change this. It takes months and months of work, right? And then when that's done, they give the websites to the developers, and then a website is created. Now, for you guys, and in my case, unfortunately, you don't have a team that is going to do this for you as a freelancer, right? You are the person who is going to be pretty much the developer, the UX designer, and you are the one who's going to speak to the business. So your role is kind of like double at this point. You're going to develop the website in Elementor or any other WordPress thing that you're using, but then you need to understand what the business is doing. So for a Safari company, you need to know and speak with the business in detail. If the business does not give you that time to do it, then you have no business, no pun intended, to work with that company. They need to give you time. You need to step down on your foot and say, I need this information. What is your goal? What's making you money? Are there any packages that are like attractive that people need? So that you really understand Again, if you skip those parts and just think of the money and rush and do the website, you're not going to have a good website. That is the main thing. So coming back here, this gentleman or lady did not understand what this business needs. Okay, because they have their itineraries way below here. At this point, I would be very bored and I would have gone to search another company, right? You have a menu over here. Okay, it's fine, but now why are you screaming payments here? Okay, you want to be paid, but it's screaming. Why? Because it is not the same as, you've not styled this maybe the same way as you have everything up here on the menu. And also at the same time, it's not a button, so maybe I might miss it, but to me, it's screaming, you want money and you've not shown me what you're going to give me. So again, all these are things that you have to look at and then figure out, okay, if the business needs this, or if this is what they're going to be making money from, then let's design it in that way. I personally don't have an issue with the color green being used as a color here, but I think it's just too much. It's just like, just crazy that it's a whole block of green, right? So we're going to come down here to these packages, and okay, maybe I've come down here and these are old entries. So this doesn't make sense. Like, why would they be old entries? You're confusing me as the user. What are old entries? All right, so okay, I've seen the button, let me click on it. So is this current or is this old? I don't know what it is, but I see old entries and I see next entries. These are things that maybe sometimes we pick templates and use and think that the template is going to solve all your problem, but you must customize any template for the need of that business. All right, so here I'm already confused by next entries and old entries. And let me just click on one of these and then have a look and see. All right, okay, so now I have a picture in here. I'm feeling a little bit inspired. However, I'm booking a safari. The name is Gorilla Backbone Safaris. So because I didn't see any information of what they do at the front, without clicking on the About Us, I'm kind of wondering now, why am I seeing lions? All right. So do you see how that can confuse someone, right? Okay, so I'm seeing lions and then I'm seeing all this information, all this text. Honestly, it is so blocky that I just don't have time to read it. And that's how people are. That's how people are. This is already too much for me. It's too boring. I'm not interested. And to make matters worse, let's say I actually read through all of this. I would love to maybe just go ahead and pay, but there is no payment button here. I'm going to ignore what it is up here because I'm thinking it looks like the menu somehow. I'm not going to look at that. So can I click and book this particular one? Can I look at 3 different safaris and compare what's inside them? Is there any image? I don't know what Lake Bunyonyi is. I don't know what it looks like. I have no idea. And I'm also not going to go and start Googling Lake Bunyonyi. I want to stay here and finish everything. Okay. So you can see how this particular website would lose business very easy in a market now that is kind of saturated in Uganda. It does not stand out, right? So I'm just going to go to services, okay. And I don't know if you looked at my screen, the image took a while to load over here, right? There is this issue that maybe clients will give you images and they are large. It is also your work as the designer to compress these images without compromising the quality and making it work. Okay, so this company promoting and supporting community tourism, which might be a really good idea, but I'm digging to see what they're doing. It's on the services page. Maybe it would have been somewhere on the front page at the very end, because I might be someone who's into community tourism, but I'm seeing it quite late. And then you have safari planning, and these images are not inspiring, right? It's just maybe it's like clip art or something like that, right? It's just not inspiring. There's so many resources where you can get images that you can use legally, right? Don't just go on Google and Google any image and use it. There are so many free resources that are out there. Or if not, you can get a subscription. If you're serious about your work, you can get a subscription that will give you a lot of these images. If this image was at the front, I would probably be inspired to continue looking on this website, right? So that's kind of the quick, because again, we don't have much time, the quick idea of this particular website. And in one of the series, we'll talk about using things like icons, which are very popular. But as you see here, they are like, okay, you're announcing it's a phone number. I get it, right? I absolutely get it. But this number that you're giving me is not, I can't even click on it. I can't click on this email. I want to do things really quick and I can't do it. Okay, here you're asking me to add them all to make calculations. Why not have a Google reCAPTCHA that will make sure that it's not a bot sending a message here? So don't ask me about 15 plus 10. I don't know. I last went to school years ago. I just want to go on my safari. All right, so that's one of these. So I'm going to go to the other one. This is random. It's going to be HortiFresh Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Association. So again, this is kind of like the first time I'm really looking at this website in detail, as I wanted to do on the meeting. And as you can see, can you guys see the website I'm looking at, HortiFresh? I hope.
No, not yet. It's still showing the old website.
Okay. Let's see.
You can stop the share and share again. I think you shared only a tab.
You're right. Okay. All right, here we go. Thank you. Here it is, right? So is the designer on the call? Okay, I'll take that as a no, right? All right.
He raised his hand. There's somebody called Kevin Kusima. So yeah, that's the designer.
Okay. Oh, sorry, what's their name?
Kevin. That's Kevin Kusima.
Kevin, okay, it's Kevin, nice to meet you. Here I am with your website, and the first thing that I'm now, I think we had a small conversation in the group chat about .org and all of this, right? Okay, so I see it's a .org, so I'm going to assume maybe it's a non-profit just from the name. But as you see, this is how your website looks to me, right? On a wide screen, this is how it's looking. First and foremost is actually the use of an image in the background is really good. It's a good idea, but the image is pixelated. So it might look okay on mobile, but it's not looking okay on a wide screen. Okay, it is really pixelated. So you need to get the high resolution image and then compress that image for wide screens. Check all your websites with different screens. I do tell my team that if you can't do this, please invest in a wide screen. It is about $100. They're not expensive, but invest in a wide screen because many Ugandans I've worked with, for some reason, they work on laptops, which is fine, no problem. But you need to remember that a lot of people look at websites on computers still. All right, so that is the first thing I would say here. Then the second thing is that you've used and we shall have a topic on fonts and colors, but this is a good one because it's the contrast with the image makes it easy to read your navigation. However, please, these Google Fonts has tons, I think nearly 5,000 different fonts. Please, guys, there is no need to use fonts that were used 20 years ago. Montserrat, Arial, please leave those. They're much better fonts to use. Please, and these are free. You can download them, add them to your Elementor custom fonts, and you're done. So when I personally see these kinds of fonts, it's just not inspiring actually to a website that has good potential. Second is if you end up getting a logo like this, and I know clients might have the logo designed in a certain way and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's like this, then just create a header, right? A navigation rather, that goes all the way, that is white, that blends in with this. Otherwise, if you leave it like this, it's hanging heavy, right? It's just like hanging there and just kind of nearly lost. So in that case, a hack is just go and create something that is wide all the way, that has the same background as the logo, and then the logo will stand out. I really would like you to do that and share it with me or in the group later on and see just how that looks like. Then I will quickly go on your navigation and then look at how your drop down looks. I can't read what this is, and the drop down is stretching all the way. So these particular things are actually design skills. These are things that you have to fix in Elementor. That's what you use for this website. And it's not really UX, but here is you need to design this well. And remember that you guys have two roles. You have the role of the UX and also developing the pages. So here it's just a matter of you fixing this and using the correct font. This is like just totally unacceptable, to be honest. You know, you have like a font that has some sort of border around it. You know, it's just not, it just doesn't look right. All right, so then now you have 100% with website. Those are always trendy these days. But then now you have your content leaking out of this, right? The content itself is great. It's actually great, but it's leaking out. So decide, right? If you're designing the website from scratch, feel free to draw it on a piece of paper and decide where different elements are going to be. So here it's leaking out. The visual just doesn't look good, to be honest. Okay, so now we're going to come down here to this area. And you have 50 farmer groups, 180 exporters. Okay, this and here. Again, we shall have a discussion on fonts and colors. When you have this kind of color here, as opposed to the green and the white, this can become difficult to read. I can barely read this. Okay, I can read it, right? But then if this was white, maybe this would stand out very well. Now, again, you're going to come to the other part of the website. Am I really interested in looking at the theme as the first thing that comes to my mind? You know, am I really interested in, is this the point? Is this the main goal of this particular business, to present their team? What if I'm such a bad Ugandan, I don't like working with men? Or I don't like working with women, and then I see this as the first thing. Just imagine how biased I would be. Some people are, but my point is this the main thing? Is this the main thing? Maybe I've skipped reading what you're doing here, but I've come here and this is your first presentation is the team. Okay. Now we can look at about us. About us has logos of just different organizations. There's not, I don't know anything about you. You're telling me you're Ministry of Trade, Industry and Corporations. All I know is that, okay, maybe, in the news, Ministry of Trade had a scandal with the, whatever, with the company, and it has a bad reputation. That's all I'm seeing now. It's your job to tell the client that I need details of what you're doing, because when you get those details, then you are going to decide what you can put on the homepage after you've understood what this business is doing. On the contrary, I think you can see what I meant here, right? If you have white above here, you see how this now blends in with the logo, and it looks much neater than you having it on this way like this. Okay, so here you just have information that's missing. I'm going to go to services, and now you have two different kinds of internal pages, right? So the last page looked like this. The next page looks like this. It's actually a flyer. And the name is here. There is no header image and there is no text. Google is never going to find any of these services because Google can't read what is on a flyer. It reads what I can highlight like this. This flyer doesn't tell me anything. I'm lost. The user experience already is bad. Okay, so I'm really, I still don't know what this company does. And we're now going to a membership. Okay, maybe you have to be a member. Okay, maybe you have to be a member. So now I'm confused. Is it a non-profit organization or are they helping something? I don't know, like I have to be a member now. Okay, if membership is the main thing, then maybe you need to put it on the front. But now I'm totally confused. I don't know what this company does. I absolutely don't know. And by this time, I would be bored. I would not be interested in continuing. Okay, you have a strategic plan. So now I'm thinking maybe it's a non-profit. Maybe. But at this point now, I'm just bored because I don't know what it is. And then here, just to go back, okay, you have this header on this part, and then I'm going to go here to your strategic plan, and you have this in the middle here. We'll talk about these details as well, but you can just see the inconsistency that is on your website. Very quickly, to go back to Elementor, all you would do is create one page and say this is going to be my internal page, and then just duplicate that. Once you're done, test that one page in mobile, test it on iPad and all of those, and then duplicate the rest of the other pages so everything stays consistent. But once you start dancing from one design to another, it just makes someone dizzy. The use of images, the scrolling. You know what? You could just make a download button here, PDF download, and I'll download this and read it at peace. Other than scrolling through this, I'm not going to be able to read all of this. So, Kevin, I really would like you to make like corrections on your on this particular website. Please feel free to message me if you want me to critique it one-on-one with you. But as you see, from what I've gone through, I think you need to go back to the client, as I said in the beginning, and ask them what is it that they really need. There is nothing wrong with the contact page, only that it's just inconsistent from the way the other pages look like. And again, these small things, you have it in Accra. I don't know whether it's in Accra or it's in Uganda here. So this is what comes up. This is just what comes up right away. It's in Accra. So you imagine someone from the US looking at this website who's interested in their business, and they're seeing this and they're now confused. Like, okay, now do I need to go to Takoradi? Or do I need to go to Tema? Or are they on Nile Avenue? Okay, so be careful with these maps. Get the actual coordinates and put the right information inside there. All right. We have 20 more minutes. I'm going to go to the next one, and I think, okay, yes, it's going to be okay, Kainela Farms, right? Limited, and I wonder if the designer is online as well. Okay. No one. Okay. All right. So hope you guys can still hear me very well.
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. Okay. So here we are on Kainela Farms Limited, right? And again, very quickly, I'm just going to be like, okay, what is this company doing? Straight away, I do like these full images. They're okay. I'll come to this one of the cow, but okay, but they're 100% wide and they're sharp. So that's a good start, right? Okay, now when you come to the one of the cow, it doesn't have to be this close because I don't think anyone really wants to see the nose of a cow that close. And I get it. Okay, the bees doesn't have to be that close, but otherwise, if it was consistent like these pineapples, it is good. You're going to come to color, and this website actually it's okay. It could be maybe the choice of images, the green pictures. If it stays that consistent, I can read through these. I like this already. This kind of menu, the hamburger menu, will give me an idea that maybe there's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, there you go. Because I'm wondering why there is a menu and then there is this, but okay, there is more information that is here. And I like this. It's market, AgroLearn, contact us, book now. However, I can't click on these because if I see book now, I'm going to, my instinct as a user is to click, and there is nothing. However, the idea of having this on the side, I actually do like, all right? And I like the choice of green against the yellow and the white. That's perfect. Now, when we come here, then already because this is 100% view height, I just personally think now this might be too much space that's been left here before I see it. But this idea of using these images or drawings, I actually do like. I would say that I can't read this because it's too small. I would say that this would need to be, the size of those fonts would need to be increased. And then this yellow image might not be a good fit for this one. The green one is perfect. The use of these is also perfect right here. If I was to go into so much more detail, I would say that designer, make sure that you have content that is consistent and that the heights are the same. So you don't have this going on, then this going on, then this going on. It is something small, but when it all looks nice and neat, your website will look great. And so you might say, oh, but this is what the client has given me. Well, you can go back and tell the client that we need to fix this and so that it's only on 3 lines. And they will need to work out what they need to work out. Don't go ahead and start chopping their text because you are not in farming. You know nothing about farming. You're only a web designer. So they should write their content for the web, okay? It's not your job to write the content for them, but it's your job to use the content they have to design something, right? So this is a great idea, but to me, I'm just going to be picky on why is this moving down, you have more text on here. Yet this is a very great idea of these here. All right, I like the use of these images like this, but I just don't know what this is for. It looks great, but I don't know what this is for. What is this? I wish the designer could tell me. I see a button, I can click on it. Okay, it takes me to vegetables. So I'm going to go back here. And okay, these are vegetables, it takes me to vegetables. Okay, so I'm now going to think that this is going to be goats. But as a user, I shouldn't be thinking that. I should know right away that this is where it's going to lead me. So I'm assuming that those are goats. Okay, livestock, right? So this here, livestock, poultry, goats, vegetables, would make much more sense than having this where it's taking up all this space here. And is it necessary? Does it have to be there? It might have come with a template and you saw it nice and you're only just swapping out the images. No, if it doesn't make sense, take it away, right? Take it away and move on. Make it make sense, right? So this here makes more sense. If maybe there was a livestock image and then these words, then this would work very well. This actually looks great here, but it's down here. And then I'm seeing this space in between here, and then I'm wondering why this space is like this between here, right? Between this element and this other element right here. So you see, there's a problem here. But the main key thing is this is losing. This is not relevant to this particular business. All right. And then you have things like download manual here. Since you've used a lot of these images on your website, just put a little download icon inside here, and that will be fine. But otherwise, this actually looks great. And we're going to go to the About Us page. Okay. And let me just go to the front page. These are very good pictures, right? These are very, very good pictures. I'm a photographer myself, so I will know when any Ugandan has invested in having good pictures for them. So the only problem I have is that on the About Us page, you have this up here. Maybe you don't need to have for the internal pages, you don't need to have something as high as this. Just make it half the size of what you have here, and then decide, are you going to have the About Us or the name of the page in here, or are you going to have some sort of slogan or anything inside here? Because when I come to the farm page, you only have the picture and you don't have anything written inside here, but you have farm over here. So again, just like with the previous website, it's not consistent. Right, so I would be looking for a header name here, and this being at least half the size of it. And actually do like the navigation. That's really good. And this is what you did over here, right? So you see how we've come like on 3 different styles, right? So here you've done the right thing. As the user, I can tell that these are products. But now it brings me to something very important. This business can actually sell these products. If this is going to make them money, why wouldn't you have at least these products, this main product, over here on the home page and replace this? Okay, you can highlight your products that are making you money. That's the whole thing. Why this company has a website as well. They need to make money from it, exposure and money. So you have products here, and there's no indication for me to say that we have things for sale or there's something going on that we are making money off, right? And yet you do have it over here. And mind you, when I click on this, nothing happens. You see, it's just a hashtag. So this is not working. This is a live website, but this is not working. You have options now. You guys can use WordPress with PayPal. This is not an option. Or if the client has a PayPal account, that's also there. Make me click on this and order right away. Yes, there are problems, but now with Flutterwave and all those things, the e-commerce is now okay in Uganda. It's you, the designer, who needs to make it work for these clients. They don't know anything about this. They don't know. They have the bank accounts, they have the PayPal accounts. You need to connect them. Most Ugandans are developers. Develop something and sell it. And say, look, I'm going to design something. I know the issue in Uganda. I'm going to design something whereby people can order stuff online. Don't wait for someone in Nigeria, Flutterwave, to do this. Yet you guys are developers and can do this. All right, so here, I want to order some key and I can't. What's the point, right? Okay, now we go to tours. And again, here you have a green header. Choice of image matters because now look, I can't see anything up here. And that's why in the beginning, I was like the image with the green background works well because now I can't see anything. This kind of whitish with yellow is going to be disastrous. And then you have a header that's green, yet when you go back, this is white. And then you have, this is a common font, I can tell right away. Just give me something nice. The logo actually has a really good, unique font. Maybe move, in the least, if you're not inspired, move with something that is close to the logo. Okay. And just with the way the images are loading, I don't think these images have been optimized very well. I will share with you guys tools of how you can optimize your images. But okay, there is a gallery, fine. The other issue that a lot of people forget is they leave the file name here. Oh, this looks like it's unfinished work. This looks like someone who's come and done your floor in your house and has left nails there. This is what it looks like, right? So go and remove these in the back end. Make sure that they don't show. No one needs to know that this is a white crested black Polish hen. Like they can see it from here. You don't need to explain it to me in text when you actually did take the picture. All right. So I'm going to have 2 more minutes and then I'll open the floor for you guys to ask any questions. But let me look at one more website. Okay, and let me share. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we are at the WeNet Uganda. I think this is the one that I was looking at that time. And again, the non-profit organization is a huge market for you guys to develop websites from, just like tourism. And here, the same thing as I mentioned on the other website is if you have that logo that is, this is what they've given you, make sure that it's behind a white background, right? That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to make sense. This, just screams template to me. This the designer used the template and left it as is right there. Okay, this information is fine, but just remember that we shall talk about colors, and certain colors need to be used for certain businesses. So one other big issue that that I do see in Uganda is you have to know, like for me, I divide websites into masculine and feminine. And I give this example to my team because I'm like, if you're designing a photographer's website, you have to think of and this photographer is a wedding photographer. You have to think of the person who's going to hire that photographer for a wedding. 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be the bride who's going to contact the photo. It's the bride who wants to look great and do all these things. So if you design a website for a photographer that looks like a bank website, how is she going to be inspired? On the other hand, if Bank of Uganda says, oh, Mayanja, we need you to design a website for us, why would you have a website that looks like a photographer's website? You see, right? So it's kind of like we have to know what tone the website is. In the list, go and look at other websites, even if they're American websites or British websites, go and see how those websites look like for that particular industry, and then start from there. It's all part of the process. So very quickly on this one, it's wide, the images are good, but if they've given you so many images, like this is very typical, you get a client, they give you, boom, like 50 images to use. Actually go through these images, because now I'm looking at this girl, maybe she's just wondering what's going on and people's heads are cut off here. And maybe you had one better picture than this one, right? Think of now, again, this being 100% width, it's already tiring to look at. But then you look at these logos that are not sized the same, and they're already like, that's the first thing I see, right? It's the first thing I do see. And then now you have so many different colors going on. You have the red, you have the blue, you have the white. And then you have these headers that should really never be this kind of color. This blue is very harsh, and blue is like, might work for non-profits, but not this shade of blue, right? Maybe something that's a little bit on the lighter shade, mixed more with white, and we shall go through that. Text should never be this kind of color because it becomes difficult to read. You'll have to be able to pull it off quite well. Okay, so you have all the 3 colors so far. Then you have this part that is brown, right? This part that is brown, and then you have these other details that are now expiring. Okay, maybe it was in February 4th. You have to look at that. But actually, I'm okay with the theme being at the very bottom of this site compared to the other website. But all these need to be the same size. They can't be. These two can't be the same. Then you have Ivan's smaller, right? than the rest. So they all need to be the same. Those are small details. But then again, here you have these events and this blog. I'm not sure what that is, but that's fine. Then look, now we have another color over here, right? Do you need the logo down here again? Right? Those are just kind of very quickly things that you might want to think of. But I want to open the floor for any questions or any suggestions, ideas, please.
Okay, Kevin, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, you are. We can hear you.
I wanted to thank Habib for his critique, but on my site, the About Us page is there and it's clickable. I think it just looked at the submenu item. Then also on that Contact Us page, Google Maps, here, for me, it shows that it's Hortifresh Mengo, like the field office shows it in Uganda. I don't know why yours is showing Accra.
Okay. Very quickly, Kevin, just because we don't have time, is you saw I was clicking like a normal user. I'd not gone to the website, and you're telling me there's an About Us page, but as you saw, I clicked, and that's what came up. That again is the user experience. Am I going to dig far to find your page? I click what any other person would click to see, and it didn't come up. So do you need a drop down? Right? So make it direct. I go click, I get what I want. I don't need to go through different steps. For the Google Map issue, what you should do is Google the coordinates of that particular place, and then use the coordinates as the location, as opposed to maybe using the name Google Maps, because it looks like there is the same business name in Ghana. But then the coordinates are always going to be the latitude and longitude of that place. So that's a fix you can use.
Okay, John, please ask your question. We have very little time left, so we need to finish everything in the next few minutes, less than 5 minutes, so we need to wrap up everything.
Okay. All right. I'm thankful for Habib. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
But,
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm appreciative of what you have shared. My concern, my question is, can you share some resources? Could be videos or YouTube channels or PDFs that give more information on UX design. So, because I realize there's a big gap as developers that we have in that area. So it could be
Yes,
helpful.
yes. I am going to do it, and just I know that I think the ratio of developers with UX designers in Uganda is like 8-2, right? There are more developers than there are UX designers. The only problem is that for you guys to make money as freelancers is you kind of have to do both. Unless again you're working for the MTNs and all that, those guys have the budgets and the money to separate things. But you who's doing business websites for these organizations we've gone through, you have to learn more, because this is the side that actually makes more money than the development side, right? Even if there are more developers in Uganda. So yes, you have to kind of marry those two and find the fine line between them. Please, yes. From now on, I will be free to share resources. I will put them in the WhatsApp group as well, where you can just kind of sign up.
I'm wondering if everybody here is in the WhatsApp group, the WordPress Uganda WhatsApp group. If you're not, you can leave us your number in the chat, and we'll add you to that group, because there's a lot of resources that are shared there that you could benefit from. So please share your number so that we can add you to that group, or we can give you our email if you do not want to be in the WhatsApp group, and then we can